And we thank our sovereign God for this beautiful day. I have to admit I have real mixed emotions when I see the flag at half-mast. Because while we're here to celebrate and honor those who have gone before us, but it is a celebration. Yes, they leave a hole in our lives. But we're here to honor those men and women for their patriotism, their love of country, and what they have done for us and what their sacrifice means. So while we do miss them, it is still a celebration of their life and what they did.
Jasper. Freeze, huh? Oh.
And if you would please remain standing while we have the national anthem sung.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets crackle, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
God, welcome y'all, and thank you for being here, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And for those men and women in uniform, past, present, and future, thank you, and God bless. Thank you.
Before I introduce our guest speaker, I would like those here. We have young men who are in uniform. I'm sure they've done tours. We have a young man over here in dress blues. I'd like to recognize him, Sergeant James Kuntz. He's a wounded warrior just back from Afghanistan. These men that are serving today are carrying on the legacy, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. James?
It is a distinct honor for me to address you on this sacred holiday, Memorial Day. For us military veterans and you in attendance, who in your presence expresses your desire to honor our fallen heroes, and those who gather at events like this all across this great country. This day is much more significant than a 3-day weekend, a picnic, or a family barbecue. It is a day that we remember those who, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, gave their last full measure of devotion to this country. Memorial Day was born of our shared American need to understand, remember, and honor those who have died so that we may live free as men and women. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance, honor, mourning, and celebration rolled into one. President Harry Truman once said, I think I know the American soldier. He does not want gratitude or sympathy. He had a job to do. He did not like it, but he did it, and he did it well. All he wants to do is come back home and start again the life he loved. Those whom we honor today did not come back home to start again the life they loved. Ernest Hemingway, himself a combat veteran, wrote these lines about a fellow soldier who had died in battle. Desire and all the sweet pulsing aches and general hurtings that were you are gone into the sullen dark. Those we honor today are gone into the sullen dark of death, and we are left with a difficult duty. We as Americans have a difficult duty to properly honor those who died for our freedom and afforded us the opportunity to live in the greatest country on this earth. Most of us veterans served our country during a time the United States was at war. We personally knew some of the people whom we honor today. We served with them, lived with them, ate with them, joked with them, slept in the same tent, barracks, or ship. We bandaged their wounds or helped them into a medevac helicopter. A few held them as they took their last breath. I had a high school classmate who told me his last breath story. Max Southwell served in Vietnam as an Army rifleman whose platoon was on a search and destroy mission near Pleiku in 1966. His platoon was ambushed, and one of his platoon buddies, who was in front of Mac, was the first one hit. Mac said he threw a grenade into the bush where the enemy fire was coming from and emptied his M16. The enemy fire stopped and Mac crawled over to his buddy. Mac was raised in the swamps around our home, Reedsville, Georgia. He was the best hunter in the class. He would have made a good character on Swamp Guys or Duck Dynasty. He said that he knew the death rattle from watching dying deer that he shot. When Mac reached his buddy, he saw that his buddy had been hit in the middle of his chest, and his buddy was grasping for breath. Mac started calling for a medic and grabbed his buddy in his arms. And at that time, Mac felt his buddy shudder, and his buddy let out that last long breath. Mac said, "I knew he was dead, and all I wanted to do was hug him." And at that moment, I loved him more than any person I'd ever loved in my life. Over the years, I have grown to love him more for the sacrifice he made for his country. Each soldier, sailor, and airman who has died in service to country had different personalities and different reasons for serving their country. Many words have been written by poets, authors, and playwrights about the reason young men and women go to war. However, the most poignant and persuasive reasons were written or said by the soldiers themselves. These reasons are exemplified by a modern-day warrior, Marine Lance Corporal Jeffrey Starr from Chehalis, Washington. Lance Corporal Starr joined the Marines just after 9/11/2001 and went on his third tour in Iraq in May of 2006. He was a computer-savvy, high-tech kind of Marine, and he composed an email and stored it on his computer to be sent to his girlfriend in case of his death. That email arrived on his girlfriend's computer on May 30th, 2006, after Lance Corporal was killed in Ramadi, Iraq by a sniper's bullet. His girlfriend forwarded the email to the local newspaper, and it read as follows: "It may seem confusing to others while we are here in Iraq, but it's not confusing to me. I'm here helping these people so that they can live the way we live. not to have to worry about tyrants or dictators, to do what they want to do with their lives, to live free like we do in the United States. To me, that is why I died. Others before me have died for my freedom. Now is my mark for your freedom. Army Sergeant Michael Evans of Marrero, Louisiana felt the same way. He was killed on January 28, 2005 while on patrol in western Baghdad. His farewell letter to his family, the 22-year-old reminded those he left behind to stay strong. He said, "My death will mean nothing if you stop now. I know it will be hard, but I gave my life so that you could live. Not just live, but live free in a free country." Other soldiers in previous wars have written similar sentiments. 2 days after D-Day in 1944, U.S. Army 2nd Lieutenant Jack Lundberg was killed in the hedgerows of Normandy. He wrote his mother and father a letter to be opened in the event of his death. A passage from the letter read, "I am sorry to add to your grief, but we citizens of the United States have something to fight for. Never more fully have I realized that the United States of America is worth my sacrifice." On May 14, 1864, Corporal William Sears, Company B, 79th Ohio Regiment, was wounded at the Battle of Resaca, Georgia. Knowing he was dying, Corporal Sears wrote in a letter to his father, "I have honestly done the best I could for my country. And if she is only saved, I shall not regret that I have fallen as a sacrifice upon her altar. May God bless and prosper the American Republic." These epitaphs written by soldiers who were killed in action reminds me of a passage from a poem written by English poet John Maxwell Edwards. The poem commemorates England's soldiers who died in World War I. The passage is a soldier's dying request to his hometown friend and comrade in arms. It reads, when you go home, tell them of us and say, for their tomorrow we gave our today. We often hear that freedom has a price and that each generation pays its due. Over the course of the history of this country, over 1,315,000 men and women have died to defend, preserve, and sustain the freedoms offered by our Constitution. 1,315,000 is a great many souls. And my fellow Americans, that is why freedom is not free. So today is our day to say thank you to those who for generation after generation have put the bill, to those who have paid so dearly with their lives, and to their families and friends whose lives are forever changed by the loss of a loved one upon the altar of freedom. Let us always remember the cause for which these Americans fought and the freedom and peace bought with their life's blood. And let us pass along to future generations the awesome accounts of honor and courage displayed by these noble Americans. In conclusion, I quote the words of Marine Chaplain Dennis Ed O'Brien. It is a soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is a soldier, not the campus organizer, who gives us freedom to demonstrate. It is a soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. And I beseech you in your life to always remember and honor the two greatest defining forces in our lives who offered to die for us. Jesus Christ died for your salvation. The American soldier died for your freedom. Thank you for your presence here today, and may God continue to bless the United States of America with men and women who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for this country. Thank you.
Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts will now present the wreath for our Merchant Marine. Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts will now present the wreath of the American Legion. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our memorial.